Hello, all. Today we are talking about resistance exercise technique. This is chapter 13 and it is broken into a couple parts here. So our objectives with this chapter are to be able to describe the fundamental techniques for performing and instructing proper form for resistance training exercises, as well as describing proper spotting techniques and the situations in which they are needed, and be able to define appropriate training equipment, apparel, and identify common resistance exercise technique errors. So here we go. Proper equipment or machine selection is crucial when designing a resistance training program. The choice of equipment should align with the specific goals, needs, and abilities of the individual. Here are some considerations to keep in mind when selecting equipment for a resistance training program. Number one, training goals. Determine primary goals of the resistance training program. For example, if the goal is to build overall strength and muscle mass, free weights like barbells and dumbbells may be the best choice. If the goal is to target specific muscle groups or isolate certain movements, machines that provide a guided pathway can be more suitable. Functional movement patterns. You want to consider incorporating exercises that mimic functional movement patterns or sport-specific movements. Free weights and suspension trainers are particularly effective for this purpose, as they allow for a greater range of motion and engage stabilizing muscles. Consider the individual's fitness level, experience, and any potential limitations or injuries. Beginners or individuals with limited stability may benefit from using weight machines that provide additional support and guidance. On the other hand, more experienced individuals may prefer the challenge of free weights for greater neuromuscular activation. You want to ensure that the selected equipment offers enough variation and progression options to continuously challenge and stimulate the muscles. This can include adjustable weight stacks on machines, a variety of dumbbell or kettlebell sizes, or resistance bands with different tension levels. Take into account the available resources and access to equipment, and different settings such as home gyms, commercial gyms, or outdoor spaces may have varying equipment options. Choose equipment that's accessible and practical for the individual's circumstances. And prioritize equipment that allows for proper form and technique. This includes considering the stability of the equipment, adjustability to fit the individual's body mechanics, and availability of safety features. Proper instruction and supervision are crucial to ensure safe and effective use of the chosen equipment. Combine different equipment types within a resistance training program can offer a variety of exercises, target different muscle groups, and provide progressive overload. It's essential to design a program that meets the individual's specific needs and promotes proper technique, safety, and long-term progression towards their goals. Although many variables must be taken into consideration when designing a resistance training program, choose the proper equipment or machine is essential. The choice of modality should be based on several factors, including your client's training status, are they beginner, intermediate, or advanced, proficiency of the equipment, anthropometrics like height and weight, and personal preference. Some resistance training equipment falls into three main categories. You have constant resistance throughout a range of motion, as well as variable resistance throughout a range of motion, and constant speed of contraction during a given range of motion. Each piece of equipment provides unique advantages, thus common types of weight training machines, free weights, and alternatives will be discussed. Weight machines allow the individual to perform single or multi-joint movements in a restricted and controlled plane of motion without a spotter, while increasing ease of use and stability for the client. Machines are particularly useful for special populations like the elderly, inexperienced clients, and those recovering from injury. However, all individuals, regardless of training status, can benefit from the addition of machine-based exercises within their resistance training regimen. Machines can also be adjusted to accommodate most individuals of varying heights and segment lengths. However, they may not be ideal for smaller or larger individuals, depending on the machine's biomechanical design. Although machines have multiple advantages, they can be costly and can require large amounts of space. Further, several units are often needed to target all the major muscle groups. This may particularly affect those who train in group settings in one-on-one studios or at home. Thus, personal trainers may opt for free weights or alternative resistance training equipment for a particular exercise if a machine is not feasible. The features of the most common types of resistance training machines are described next. You have selectorized machines that use a series of cables and pulleys to lift a built-in vertical weight stack. You see that up at the very top right-hand corner. These machines provide constant resistance and a preset movement pattern that theoretically helps reduce the risk of injury while ensuring proper exercise technique. Additionally, selectorized machines provide a client an easier and quicker way to change the weight selection as opposed to plate-loaded machines and free weights. As compared with selectorized, plate-loaded machines require the use of external resistance via conventional free weight plates. Since this involves manually loading the device with resistance, plate-loaded machines increase risk of injury to clients when loading and unloading the weight. Plate-loaded machines are often capable of supporting more weight and offer a smoother movement pattern versus selectorized because of the diminished frictional resistance. You see an example of that in the left-hand corner there. And cam-based machines offer a form of variable resistance that increases or decreases load resistance based on the strength curve. However, absolute load does not change throughout the range of motion. These machines are based on joint kinetics and forces associated with a particular joint or joints used within the movement. For example, at the start of a chest press with the handles close to the body, a greater force production is required to push through the sticking point, the most difficult part of the exercise as compared with the remainder of the movement. Thus, the cam allows for a greater load assistance early in the concentric phase and less assistance past the sticking point. And you can see the cam-based resistance machine at the bottom center. Now, the idea would be to line the joint up with the cam. So the elbow should be lined up with the cam, and you would adjust the seat accordingly. Rod machines provide constant resistance during a given exercise and are usually plate-loaded. These machines allow movement in a straight or linear path only, thereby increasing stability. Additionally, most rod machines contain safety mechanisms that allow the use of heavier equipment without a spotter. However, if applicable, a spotter is also always recommended. The most common types of rod machines are the Smith machine that you see down here below in the center of the page, leg press, and hack squat. Now, hydraulic machines incorporate fluid-filled either oil or water pistons and cylinders to achieve resistance as a client works through a given range of motion. A major advantage of hydraulic machines is that there are no external plates or weight stacks that may potentially cause an injury if a client loses his or her grip or is unable to complete the full range of motion because of muscle failure. Additionally, the hydraulic resistance can be increased by either reducing the length of the lever or performing the movement quicker through a given range of motion. Because pistons are used, the client can perform only the concentric portions of an exercise. For example, after performing a chest press style movement by pushing the levers away from the body, the client must pull the handles back to the starting position. Thus, personal trainers must consider the implications of using concentric only movement. Air or pneumatic machines use compressed air cylinders rather than selectable weights or external plates to add resistance. Pneumatic machines allow individuals to perform high velocity movements with a reduced risk of injury as compared with traditional resistance machines, depending on the design of the machine. Exercises can be performed in either one plane of motion or within a three-dimensional space. Each repetition is fully controlled via pressurized air, and resistance can be easily adjusted. However, one of the drawbacks is the need for an air compressor with each unit to supply the resistance. Additionally, pneumatic machines are costly, require different units to target all the major muscle groups, and require a large amount of space. Isokinetic machines are accommodating variable resistance machines. They allow for the speed of contraction to be held constant through a given range of motion. As an exercise is performed, the muscular effort from the client is matched with a proportional amount of resistance that maintains contraction speed. Unlike other resistance training machines, isokinetic machines are computer controlled and can be programmed to function through a specific range of motion or provide concentric or eccentric only resistance. Because of their cost and required knowledge of complex computer programming, isokinetic machines are typically found only in clinical rehabilitation and laboratory settings. Furthermore, they don't allow for exercise to be performed in multiple planes of motion or for certain multi-joint movements, such as a squat or bench press. Unlike machine equipment, free weight equipment such as barbells, dumbbells, and kettlebells allow unrestricted movement in all forms of motion rather than a largely fixed movement path. One of the most common forms of free weights are barbells, which allow the client to perform multi-joint and single joint movements in all planes of motion. Barbells are available in a variety of shapes, weights, and lengths. Thus, certain exercises may warrant proper fitting of the barbell to the client and exercise. You can see that in the example on the top right-hand corner. For example, the bench press exercise is commonly performed with a longer straight bar, while the biceps curl often uses a shorter bent easy curl bar to allow for a more natural position of the elbow and wrist. A standard barbell is about 1 inch in diameter and weighs approximately 5 pounds per foot, so about 7.5 kilograms per meter. Some standard barbells are fixed at a preset weight. That's really what you see there on the top right-hand corner, that cannot be adjusted but are typically available in 5 to 10 pound increments. An Olympic barbell is about 7 feet long and weighs 45 pounds, with the section where the weight plates are placed having a diameter of approximately 2 inches. Since barbells are free moving, the personal trainer should assess clients to determine if they possess the required coordination, stability, and increased knowledge of proper technique to safely perform a movement. Dumbbells allow for multi and single joint resistance training exercises to be performed within a plane of motion. Dumbbells vary in size and shape, ranging from 1 pound or even 1 pound to over 100 pounds, and are typically made from cast iron or rubber with a steel handle. Equipment advantages include minimal space requirements, they're easily transportable, and the possibility of decreasing muscular imbalances through unilateral exercises. Although benefits include increased muscular strength and joint stability. An initial level of joint stability is required before a client can use free weights. Personal trainers should take that into account when working with specific populations. An alternative to dumbbells or kettlebells are a highly versatile modality and allow for a variety of exercises with minimal space and equipment. Where dumbbells have an equal weight distribution, kettlebells have an offset center of mass that allows for more momentum-based movements or swings. Kettlebells are typically made with cast iron, rubber, or hard plastics and have various sizes of hand grips. The cast iron kettlebell handles increase in thickness as the weight increases, which may be a consideration for personal trainers working with special populations. In addition to traditional weight machines, there are several alternative equipment options that can be used for resistance training. These alternatives offer versatility, portability, and often incorporate functional movements. Here are some common types of alternative equipment used in resistance training. Using tires for resistance training is a popular and effective way to add variety and challenge to your workout. Old tires can be repurposed and used in a variety of exercises to provide resistance, improve strength, and increase cardiovascular endurance. Sandbags are bags filled with sand or other weighted material. It could be water. They provide an unstable and shifting load, challenging stability, and engaging multiple muscle groups during exercises such as squats, lunges, and carries. Sandbags are an effective tool for functional and strength training. Battle ropes are heavy ropes anchored at one end, and they're used to perform various undulating and waving movements. Battle rope exercises improve cardiovascular fitness, grip strength, and upper body power. Balance tools such as balance boards, stability balls, and wobble cushions can be incorporated into resistance training to challenge stability and core strength. These tools engage smaller, stabilizing muscles and improve balance, overall balance and proprioception. Medicine balls are weighted balls available in different sizes and weights. They can be used for various exercises, including throws, slams, twists, and rotational movements. Medicine ball exercises improve power, core strength, and coordination, and can be done either in a standing, seated, or supine position. Chains can be an effective tool for adding resistance and variation to your strength training workouts. They're commonly used in powerlifting and strength training to challenge the muscles throughout the range of motion. And the pictures you can see, the bench press has been added with chain resistance. So in the starting position, the links of the chain are draped over each other with the chain when the chain is fully off the floor. So the client has to handle the full weight of the chain. As the client lowers the barbell to the chest, the resistance progressively decreases as the chain piles up on the floor. Resistance bands are elastic bands available in different resistance levels. They can be used to target various muscle groups and provide resistance throughout the range of motion. They are lightweight, portable, and suitable for both upper body and lower body exercises. Wooden clubs, also known as Indian clubs, are they're coming back in. They're also called Persian mills, but they are an ancient training tool that have regained popularity in recent years. They are cylindrical clubs made of wood, typically ranging from 1 to 5 pounds in weight. Wooden clubs offer a unique form of resistance training that focuses on improving mobility, flexibility, coordination, and rotational strength. Sleds are a versatile training tool commonly used for conditioning, strength, and power development. They consist of a platform or frame with runners or skids that can be loaded with weight plates or other resistance, such as people. Sled training involves pushing, pulling, or dragging the sled across various surfaces to challenge the muscles and the cardiovascular system. And that is all that I have today. We will go into more of technique in our next session. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.